These are the 6 books that I read last year. Now, before you say anything, yes, I'm well aware that for someone who actually still reads books, only managing to read 6 in an entire year is probably not considered very many. Well, to be entirely honest, there were some months this year that I didn't even pick up a book at all. What can I say? Sometimes I'm just too lazy to read a book and would rather press play on a movie instead. But I am proud to say that during the last few months of the previous year, I spent a lot of my free time reading. During this recent stretch of rabid reading, I rediscovered a tenet that I have long held in my personal doctrine. Books really are the ultimate form of storytelling. Don't get me wrong, I am still very much a movie man myself, but books, and by extension writing, really are the most effective and universal form of artistic expression humanity has. After all, people still read Hemingway and study Shakespeare. That has to count for something.
God, if only we could get rid of these damn arms and attach the pen directly to the heart, right?
In a way, writing is the best artistic medium because it is the most accessible. Everybody can write because basically every human being knows how to communicate with words and string together sentences into a story. We all know how to express our feelings with words, even if the complexity of those words varies from person to person. On the other hand, not everyone can draw a cat and then have someone actually realize it's a cat. Get what I mean? Why am I telling you all of this? Well, in an era where books are often seen as boring and outdated compared to modern forms of entertainment like video games and movies.
Knife the watermelon. Nice! Your fruit killing skills are remarkable.
Books are still a vital medium of information and entertainment that we really shouldn't ignore. I know that reading a book doesn't give you the same dopamine hit that scrolling through social media or playing a match of COD does, but that's also why I want you to read a book. Now, I'm not going to come at you guys like one of those alpha male TikTok podcast whatever bros saying that if you read a book, you'll start making millions of dollars, women will chase you on the streets, and your dad will come back from the store with the milk and cigarettes. My name's Andrew Tate and I own 15 fucking Bugattis. I love Bugattis so much I shoved one up my own ass. Sorry about that, I got lost in the character for a second. Now, while I do agree that reading more books is a great avenue of self-help, that's not the main reason why I think you should do more reading. I briefly mentioned how reading books doesn't quite give you the same dopamine hit that other forms of entertainment does. To be honest, this is because reading a book is just objectively more boring than watching a movie or playing a video game. There are no moving images, music, or interactivity. It's just you reading the words on the page. There is more work involved in reading a book because it is up to the reader to transform the words on the page into a tangible world in their mind. It's a more involved process compared to watching a movie or playing a video game where the sounds and the visuals of the narrative and world are objectively established for the viewer. Books are the most subjective and personal medium because we fully realize the words on the page in our minds based on our own experiences and biases. Therefore, we never really experience the same exact story as another individual. Understandably, some people have stronger imaginations than others, leading them to find more enjoyment in novels, whereas others struggle to see anything more than the words on the page.
What the fuck? Stupid fucking book.
Regardless on where you land on this spectrum, I still believe that you will find value in just reading a book. Listen, I know I've probably turned some people off of the idea just by saying that there is work involved with reading. Why read a book when I can just press play on a movie? I get it. I feel the same way sometimes. Wow, I suck at selling my arguments. I'll just get to the point. Here's my killer argument for reading. Books are the ultimate media consumption palate cleanser. Most human beings have a natural drive towards looking to experience bigger and better things.
You mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling.
This is especially true when it comes to the consumption and enjoyment of media. We watch movies and play video games for the violence, love, crime, sex, blood, gore, and every other thing we find entertaining. But many of us tend to get to the point where film and video games start feeling a bit flat. We find ourselves always looking for something more entertaining and exciting, but no movie or game can quite satisfy our cravings. You also find your attention waning when you watch movies or play video games. I mean, that's probably because you spend spend hours watching 6-second videos on TikTok, but I can't help you with that problem. It's when you find yourself bored of all the wonders of modern entertainment that I encourage you to turn to the most boring medium of them all, books. Books are wonderful because they are pure narrative and literary imagery. There are no bells and whistles, no addictive game mechanics, and no cheap cameos to try and hold your attention. Books are not an all-out assault on your senses, they are food for your eyes and mind. They are pure entertainment, plain and simple. In an age where every piece of media is trying harder and harder to blow your mind, it can leave you feeling exhausted and disinterested. I know a lot of you out there commonly struggle with the feeling of movies and games not hitting the same anymore. Well, fear not, because I have a cure for you. It's called reading. Like I said, books are the ultimate palate cleanser when it comes to entertainment because they force you to sit down and actively engage with something. You cannot passively read a book. If you do, you'll get to the bottom of the page, realize you didn't take in anything you just read, and start reading the page again, only to end up repeating this cycle 10 times before you finally absorb what you were reading. Additionally, when you are required to fully realize characters and worlds in your mind, you engage with narratives on a deeper level than you would with a film or game because you are creating your own unique version of the story. It's pretty special. We all just want to experience a good story, right? Well, books offer that with all of the fat cut out. I guarantee you, once you sit down and read a book, the next time you watch a movie or play a game, you will be even more thrilled by the visuals and sounds on the screen because you appreciate when you don't have to come up with them yourself.
Is that a crab with a top hat and a monocle? That's where I draw the line. Come on, Master Chief. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Books are the ultimate entertainment palate cleanser because they encourage us to actively engage with media on a deeper level, a connection that readers then take into their enjoyment of films, video games, and other media. You don't know what you've got till it's gone, right? If you want to find new enjoyment in your favorite forms of entertainment, reading a plain old simple book is about as close to hitting the reset switch as you can get. So even if you find books about as fun as watching paint dry, I'm sure you would love to get some more enjoyment out of your favorite movies and games. So why not give it a go? If you take anything from this video, please just read a book, any book you like.
Hey, what's up? You kids want to buy some Captain Underpants?
I'm talking fiction and non-fiction. Read a comic book or a graphic novel if you want to. They have pictures and words. What more could you ask for? Hell, go back to reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid if anything. If you want some recommendations, then I can give you 3. For a non-fiction book, I would highly recommend Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. I hope I pronounced that right. This book gives a concise history of how we have evolved as a species and gives some thoughtful suggestions to help improve our perception of ourselves and the world around us. For a graphic novel suggestion, I think Batman White Knight, written and illustrated by Sean Murphy, is one of the best Batman stories that's come out in the past 10 years. It follows a Joker who is seemingly cured from his madness and sets out to fix Gotham City, while also trying to convince the city that Batman is their true enemy. And finally, my suggestion for a fiction novel is Boy Swallows Universe by Trent Dalton, a working class coming of age story that is incredibly popular in Australia, so much so that my Australian audience would probably scoff at me for suggesting it. I don't know if it's as popular in other parts of the world, but regardless, it comes highly recommended. And with that, I want to wish you all a happy new year. I hope it is good to all of us. Maybe start it off with reading a book. I know you won't regret it. Until the next video, guys, stay safe, stay happy, and stay healthy. See ya.